For our 1.1 practice and homework, you'll notice that there are just certain problems that you have to do: 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, and 12. You're welcome to do more than that, but those are the ones that I will be looking at. If you know how to do these, you don't need to watch this video. You can just do them. So the practice and homework are the only videos that you can skip over. The other ones, you'll need that information. But these ones, you should have already learned about it. And if you're feeling confident, then just do it. If not, then this video is a great place to come. Oh, don't know what that was. Okay, here we go. Number 1 says, Mila first stands on a diving board that is 3 feet above the surface of the water. Then she dives to the bottom of the pool to a depth of 10 feet. So if the surface of the pool is 0, use integers, so our whole number is positive and negative, to represent those two locations. So I'm going to kind of use this graph over here to think about these. So 0 is where the water is. Sorry, and then the water goes down. So she's on a diving board that's 3 feet above the water. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there's the diving board. And then she jumps off and she dives down 10 feet. So this is where she dives. So if the surface of the pool is 0, use integers to represent these two locations. So where does she start? She starts at 3, and then she goes down to -10. So now it wants us to graph them, which I already did because I used my number line, a strategy, to help me just think about what the integers were. So we have graphed each of the integers. Now we need to find their opposites and explain them. So opposite, right, goes to the other side of the number line. So the opposite of 3 is going to be -3. So our first opposite is -3, and it wants to know, what does that mean? In this case, what does -3 mean? It means 3 feet below the water. Okay, then I'm going to have you try the -10. So write down the opposite of -10, and she dove 10 feet below the water, so it's the opposite of that. So go ahead and finish B, telling me what's the opposite of -10 and what does it mean when you're at the opposite of -10. Okay, number 3 says the number line shows integers A and B. What are the opposites of these integers? So here we're here at 0, and it goes to the left 1 place. So A is really at -1. So the opposite of A would be just to bump it to the other side of 0, and you would have +1. So now here we have B, and it's to the right, so it's positive. So see if you can write down what is the opposite of B here. So it needs to be this same amount of places on the negative side. Okay, number 5, we're going to find the opposite. Write down the opposite. So if it's positive, we're just making it negative. If it's negative, we're making it positive. So the opposite of 2, so that one I can come back and use this number line to help me. So we're here at 2, and that's positive. So I need to go 2 in the other direction from 0, would give me -2. Just opposite, right? This was positive. I made it negative. And the opposite of 0, we talked about this before. There's nowhere to go. There is no opposite. It just is 0. It is itself. Okay, we're going to flip over the page and we're going to work on number 8. Jose collects baseball cards. Over the last year, The change in the value of his favorite card is -$7. So the value went -7. Which best describes the meaning of this integer? So what happened? Right, it had a value, it went -7. So let's read through. We've got the card is now worth $7. We actually don't know how much the card was. It could have started at $10 and it lost 7. It could be worth 3. It could have been worth $50 and it lost $7 and it's worth 43. We have no idea what the card is actually worth. We just know it went down $7. Negative, right? It's decreasing $7. So I'm going to cross off A, not A. The value of the card has increased. If we think back to our notes, increase was a positive amount. And we up here have negative. So this word increase is telling me that it's not that one. The value of the card has decreased by $7. It went down $7. Decreased, went down $7. Thinking back to our notes, decreased means down. So that's sounding good, but we don't just pick the first one we come to. The card is now worth -$7. So again, we didn't know how much it was worth because we don't know how much it started at. All we know is that it went down. So our answer is C. 10, we're going to match each integer to its opposite. So we're going to find A is at 5. And I need to find its opposite. The opposite of +5 is -5, and I'm going to connect those. So if I'm doing B, it's at 0. It can't go positive or negative. It's just going to stay 0. There's no opposite of it. So I want you to go ahead and finish C and D. Find where they are on the number line, connect them to their opposites. And number 12, which situation can be represented by -8? Choose all that apply. So there's more than one answer here. Anything that means down 8, -8. So the temperature drop of -8. So we don't know that this necessarily means it has to be -8. It just means it's going down. It could be that the temperature is -8, but also could just mean the temperature went down 8 degrees. It's like a minus sign, it's taking it away. So the temperature could drop 8 degrees. Drop would mean negative. So I'm thinking A sounds good. A depth of 8 meters. So again, down, we're going deep into the ground. That is showing that it's going negative. That could be it. If it's growing, that tells me it's probably going in the positive direction. I don't think that is a word that we're looking for. A time that was 8 years ago. So in the past, we have to go backwards to get there. That sounds like a negative problem. We're losing 8 pounds, right? So it's taking it away. And this last one says they're gaining it. That would be positive. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the answer has to be -8. Just it had to go backwards 8. We lost 8 pounds. So if there was a dog that weighed 70 pounds and it lost 8 pounds, right? It's not going to be in the negatives. It's just losing it. It's taking it away. It's going backwards. Backwards, this one, right, is dropping down, dropping down. So we're just looking for those words that meant negative. So make sure you have your homework problems done and get those checked off.